You might be impressed by the success of the Bored Ape or Azuki or CryptoPunks, but what you need to know is that these projects are 1 in a million. Well, maybe even more, because every day there are hundreds of NFT projects that are produced, but many of them end up failing. Today, let's talk about the real reason so many NFT projects fail. Maybe this can be a teaching moment for aspiring artists out there. First off, the regulations. A big reason many such projects fail is that they cannot comply with the rules and regulations of these projects. Now, we don't blame them considering the fact that the terms and conditions are pretty lengthy, and acing all of them can be quite tedious. So here's what happens. As with other forms of digital currency and assets, NFTs may be bought and sold without anybody being wiser about the identity of the buyer or seller.
Kind of the future for a certain type of NFT. I think NFTs are going to evolve and branch out. I think there will always be NFTs that are seen.
The secrecy and volatility of NFTs make them ideal for money laundering, but they also represent a constant risk of being used to support terrorism. Even though some jurisdictions don't have NFT-specific laws on the books, there are generally accepted rules for determining whether cryptocurrency-based NFT transactions fall under such laws. Making sure that each project follows all rules and regulations can be difficult, which is why they fail. Not to mention the cost that comes with making a project successful. Small and medium-sized enterprises, known as SMEs, seeking entry into the NFT area, or even anyone doing it on a smaller scale, are liable to a regulatory cost of between $250,000 and $200,000. Next, issues with marketing. Rarely do creators truly understand the hows and whys of their work. They aren't just aware of the value they provide to their target demographic.
Obviously, you don't need an NFT to play our game, so there will be a vehicle that people can race.
Rise to Entertainment game is a shining example. These days, developers are more interested in NFT degens and blockchain communities than they are in the average player. Even with NFTs, designers tend to favor existing holders and degens over naive new investors. Why? Maybe it's because it's harder to train and win over new recruits. This is where good marketing comes into play. It's important to keep an eye out on the caliber of the influencers who talk about and support the project. Focus on a small group of individuals you admire rather than a whole number of people that subscribe to influencers. And as a result of misusing the influence of the masses to generate false excitement, a lot of ventures end up failing. There's no guarantee that all of an influencer's 100,000 followers really value the influencer's views and will make a conscious decision to implement the influencer's advice. An audience of this caliber might be irrational at times. Due to the influence of their feelings, they may change their minds at any time. In fact, this means that once the project price begins to decrease dramatically, investors' emotions take control and they sell the project, further bringing the price down. Moving on, the high costs. Yep, there's more. We've only discussed the cost that comes with regulations, but there are so many other aspects that can make a hole in the pocket of the NFT project initiators. The high costs are another reason why people back out, and hence the project ends up failing. An NFT may be generated and recorded on a blockchain thanks to proof of work. In this way, a group of miners might compete to solve difficult cryptographic puzzles in order to verify blockchain transactions. Complex computational problems, however, need a lot of computing resources, which in turn means more electricity is used. Estimates put the amount of energy needed
80 watts, currently at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That is profiting 5 cents
for cryptocurrency mining at the same level as the energy produced annually by the London metropolitan area. Geez, now imagine the cost associated with it. Also, high transaction fees may be one of the most important challenges NFT developers confront when the Ethereum network is overloaded. If customers are willing to pay higher fees to miners, they may see faster transaction times during peak network use times. The term gas war describes this conflict. Gas wars break out when a new NFT is minted and everyone wants a piece of the action. For example, the gas bill for minting a 0.1 ETH NFT during the time ICO rose to approximately 3 ETH, not to mention lack of creativity. Now, this is a huge hurdle in the path of those starting new projects. It would be workable for everyone to just copy-paste and make up a project of their own, but there are no promises that you'd end up with results such as fame or revenue. In fact, there are quite a lot of chances that your project will end up down the drain. Plagiarism is common in the NFT industry, and
I really shouldn't be saying this as an artist, but it makes sense that NFTs started
never leads to good results. Any effort that just plagiarizes the ideas, aesthetics, tools, strategies, and products of others is virtually always doomed to failure. In the eyes of the customer, a red flag will be raised if your NFT project is found to be plagiarized in whole or in part. Copying is not necessarily a negative sign, but it often suggests a lack of originality and focuses on the market, and hence you can't expect many people to be moved by your work. A lack of creativity means the creators will be stuck for ideas in the event of a bearish market, and a project project that lacks originality and individuality in the face of hundreds of identical NFT ideas will fade into the background of the NFT garbage market. What's more, the issue of supply and demand. Many initiatives fail due to weak supply and demand since they can't keep up with the demands of their community. Let's say you're in the market for a new NFT to flip. You seem to enjoy increasing rates of both hype and cost. You invest in the future with the expectation of making a profit. However, the buzz is limited and tends to disappear as soon as it begins.
Movements we're really seeing is in the ape community, mutants,
Once that happens, you feel a little more uneasy with every 100th drop, and then you'll eventually end up selling. And this is precisely what happens to many failed projects. The exaggerated hype doesn't last forever, and when many people sell because they don't believe in a project, price drops and the business collapses eventually. You need to make sure that your creation and your art, or maybe even your marketing, is so strong that it can hook people for the long run. And even when the hype dies down, you still want loyal people to be in your corner. Also, a major issue, the caliber of team. One of the main reasons why most NFT initiatives fail is because of a poorly managed and ineffective crew. People will not invest in the NFT project unless it has a team of highly qualified experts working on it. It's far more likely that a project will be successful if the right group of highly skilled professionals is selected to work on it. So you need to make sure that not only the external image is excellent, but also the inner workings of the project are impeccable.
What you guys a little bit about today is called the NFT Academy. This is a project that I am going to be doing some live trainings for you guys who do.
Investors do not put money into a project because they are happy about the idea or a particular project. They put money in it because they trust the group and the team members. Your potential investors need to have the surety that your team will be able to pull it off and save their investment, not to mention the lack of a loyal community. The NFT industry relies heavily on user-generated content. You can tell whether an NFT project is going to succeed by how active the community is that supports it. It's common knowledge that the ventures with the greatest passion tend to be the ones that succeed. Having an NFT is about more than simply having a piece of art. It's about being a part of a culture and a community. This impact may be seen in full force when considering the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They established a subculture in which their products are celebrated by their devoted fans. If a project has a strong community, its members will passionately promote it, and a loyal community is the biggest sign of a good NFT project. So if yours is failing, you might want to analyze the kinship you've formed and up your game if needed. Finally, scams. Because of how difficult it is to predict a rug pull, it's often considered the worst possible failure scenario.
Are a scam. And we're not necessarily just talking crypto here, we're talking from the NFT perspective.
For an NFT, when the owners of an NFT project liquidates the project in order to steal the cash, this is known as a rug pull. The main cause is when NFT producers and artists decide to stop making new material, which devalues the NFTs, and as an outcome, investors suffer total financial ruin in a short amount of time. And because all of the chaos it causes to the collector's assets, doing a rug pull is very damaging to the owner's image. Pixelmon's near fall from grace serves as an excellent example. People will look into your team to avoid getting scammed and will also be looking out for nameless authors, so you need to work on both of those to avoid a failed NFT project. And that's a wrap. So what did you think of this video? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.